Saturday, April 26th, with 3 different show times, and it's all about making sure it's a night of suspense and drama as patrons learn about Tobago's legislative history. Quite the interesting concept. And to tell me more about it, special program coordinator of the Assembly Legislature for the THA, Sophia Cooper, joins us this morning on The Now. Good morning, Ms. Cooper.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It is delightful to have you here because the idea of Squid Games and legislature is not something I put together. Tell me a little bit how this concept came to be. And as I asked if anybody passes away, you laughed. So tell me how it's going to unfurl as well.
The idea behind Night of Mystery is really to get people into the Assembly Legislature. I mean, as you could imagine, it's not the easiest conversation to jump into. Let's talk about legislative history. But we do need people to understand what it means to be part of their own democracy. So it really ties into this idea that how do we get people to participate without thinking that they're coming for a lecture? And so Night of Mystery is about bringing people into the space, and while they're there having fun, we give them some information about what we do.
Sounds good. Now, what does that actually look like? Are we talking about dramatic plays? Are we talking about, call and response? What exactly is happening in Gillingham?
Essentially, it's a nighttime tour with a twist. And that's important to remember because the building itself has a history of its own. It's 200 years old this year. And so the Assembly Legislature, as part of its bicentennial celebration, has a list of different activities that we're going to invite the public to. And so Night of Mystery is one of those events. And we don't want people to come just because we're saying, oh, it's a tour, but it's a tour with a twist. And I know you asked me if anybody's going to die. I can't tell you yes or no. But I am going to tell you that we have a group of actors that has been working extremely hard to make this archival information as impactful and immersive as possible. So for those who are interested, it's 7 p.m. James Park is the starting point, and then the actors would take it from there.
I'm scared. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm scared. But this isn't the first time that you've had events that attempt to bring people into the space in a different way, educate in a different way. So tell me how this has been executed in the past. I believe it would have been last year. There would have been a similar endeavor, yes?
Correct. The Assembly Legislature is in the oldest legislative building in the country. It was constructed in 1825. And in that, there is a lot of information about the first assembly and about how Tobago made laws, its own chief justice, etc. And these things are sometimes not captured when we have a national curriculum in schools. And so it's our duty to ensure that when we're giving people a sense of Tobago within the context of Trinidad and Tobago, we give them a sense of what Tobago looks like and then what Tobago looks like within a national context. And so when we talk about the bicentennial celebration, we're talking about Night of Mystery because it really captures the idea that this is a part of our national history. Let me tell you more about it.
Right. Now, in the past, you would have done similar executions then. So persons have given feedback and expressed their interest, I take it. How was it received when it was initially introduced, though?
Can I tell you, when we started this about 5, 6 years ago, we thought we'd get like about 50 people. We're like, how do we make this interesting for these 50 people that are going to show up? We had about 200.
That's what I
So
thought.
from that very first year, we're like, okay, this is something that we could work with because it introduces legislative history, civics, democracy in a way that people were gravitating towards. And after, when we asked them for feedback, they would say things like, oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know we could come into this building. this is a public gallery. You could come for plenary sittings, etc. So we've been getting really good feedback in terms of presenting information about the legislature in this format.
Now tell me, who is this open to, Sophia? Because we have the idea in terms of how many numbers it can accommodate, but are we looking at particular age groups, Tobagonians only? How do we decide who gets to see?
That's why we have several shows. So the first show is at 7, the last show is at 9, and between that at 8 p.m. we're gonna have a session where people can interact, play some games, trivia questions, etc. And so the shows is to give people an opportunity. If you want to come for 7, come for 8, come for 9, and it caters for children as well as adults. So what we found in the past is that parents will bring children of a primary school age because it's the kind of information you want young people to know about. And so it is for that age group where maybe they're learning about things in social studies, maybe they're doing civics, maybe it's a parent who's actually looking for that last event before the school starts to make sure that the children are okay. This is your last hurrah before you buckle down again. That's who we're looking for.
So the last hurrah where somebody might or might not die. How do we get tickets, or do we have to reserve any spots? Is it anything like that?
So what we want you to do is to go to our social media pages or our website, tobagolegislature.org. There's a link to register. It's free. The registration gives us an idea of the number of people who intend to come. You don't have to register. If you're like getting the information the day of, you can still come. We will make space for you, right? But the registration really helps us. So go to tobagolegislature.org, go to our social media pages, whether it's Facebook or TikTok, and you'll find a link there to register for this Saturday, the 26th, 7 p.m. the first show, 9 p.m. the last show. James Park, that's where we're going to assemble.
Well, Ms. Cooper, best of luck to everybody, the patrons and the participants as well. And I would wish you congratulations in advance then on continuing this endeavor, a beautiful way to continue to educate people. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.